Welcome back to another Forge College Explainer. Today we're diving straight into publishing and automation pipelines. If you've been following our track on Web 2 integration and API development on Solana, you know we're right in the middle of distributing AI-driven tools via CLI. Last time we got through the heavy, serious stuff, privacy and consent and identity integration. So today we're shifting gears to something incredibly liberating.
I mean, we've all been there, right? It's literally 4:55 p.m. on a Friday. You're sweating over a terminal, trying to do a manual publish before the weekend. You type your command, hit enter, and boom. You realize you completely forgot to bump the version number. Cue the quiet, existential panic. Manual publishing is just an absolute nightmare because, well, we're human. We make typos, we forget files, and we inevitably break things. And while protecting user data is absolutely crucial, it doesn't mean much if your code can't actually survive its journey out of your local machine without crashing. But look at the alternative, automated pipelines. It's like a Zen garden of code. Tireless robots doing all the heavy lifting, giving you smooth, consistent, and perfectly reproducible releases. You just sit back and sip your coffee.
So here's our roadmap for today. Section 1, the automation pipeline dream. Section 2, AI prompts for publishing. Section 3, generate, simulate, and iterate. Section 4, the CI gatekeeper checklist. And finally, Section 5, pipelines in team workflows. Let's get right into it.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the automation pipeline dream.
Okay, so what does this dream pipeline actually do for us? Well, it's not just about saving a couple of keystrokes. It's about totally eliminating that 4:55 p.m. human error. We want to set up that automatically builds, tests, packages, tags, and publishes our CLI tool every single time we push a change. But before your code can step out into the real world, it needs the right dress code. And that means semantic versioning, or semver. It's that classic vX.Y.Z format. Think of your software like a house, right? The X is for major, breaking changes. Changing X is like tearing the house down and rebuilding it. Things will definitely break for the people living there. The Y? That's for minor new features. It's like adding a sweet new patio. The house still works fine, you just have something extra. And Z? That's your patch fix. Just fixing a leaky faucet. Your pipeline absolutely has to stick to this strategy so everyone always gets the right, predictable binary.
Moving on to Section 2, AI prompts for publishing.
Now, to build this beautiful automation, we're not going to sit here and write every single line of bash code by hand. No way. We're going to politely ask our AI assistants to draft our initial shell and YAML scripts. But here's the catch. You have to be incredibly specific. Think of the AI like a super smart but incredibly literal intern. If you just say, hey, write a publish script, you're going to get a generic miss. You have to explicitly define your exact repo layout. You need to tell it your specific build commands like make build. You've got to lay out your exact semantic tagging rules, your release targets like GitHub Releases, and most importantly, you need to demand explicit failure conditions. You have to tell this intern exactly when to crash, burn, and stop what it's doing. So the golden rule here is concrete inputs equal stable pipelines. You absolutely must provide exact file names and artifact patterns. AI is brilliant, for sure, but it gets so easily confused by ambiguity. If you don't lock down those details, it might hallucinate a pipeline that tries to deploy your shiny new CLI tool to a smart toaster instead of your actual project registry. And trust me, hallucinated deployment scripts lead to catastrophic and, okay, sometimes kind of hilarious failures. Which brings us to how we actually test this stuff without blowing up production.
That brings us to Section 3, generate, simulate, and iterate.
So we've got our AI-generated scripts, but whatever you do, do not just push them straight to the main branch. Instead, we use a really strict three-stage loop: generate, simulate, and iterate. First, you generate the draft with your AI intern. Second, you simulate running it locally in a throwaway environment. Think of this like a crash test dummy facility. You want to crash the car into a wall here, not out on the public highway. And third, when it inevitably hits a snag, and believe me it will, you iterate. It is completely normal for the script to fail the first time around. Don't panic, just take those exact failure logs, feed them right back to the AI, and ask for a targeted fix rather than a total rewrite. Let's talk about building that crash test dummy facility. To do a proper simulation, you've got to mock your environment. We do this by mimicking continuous integration variables right in your local terminal. Things like GitHub ref, GitHub SHA, and a mock token. Basically, you're doing a dry run. Think of this mock environment like a movie set. The ref and the SHA, those are just fake ID badges we hand the script to see how it reacts when asked for credentials. The mock token? Pure play money. We just want to make sure the script does the right dance and hands over the correct files before we give it access to our real GitHub registry.
All right, Section 4, the CI gatekeeper checklist.
I like to think of a CI pipeline as a really meticulous, completely unbribable nightclub bouncer. This bouncer checks IDs, pats down the data, and makes absolutely sure no unverified, mismatched code gets past the velvet rope. And they operate on a super strict checklist. First up, was an artifact produced? The bouncer basically asks, hey, do you have the package? We check if the tar.gz file exists. If you're new to this, a tar.gz is basically just a digital, zipped-up cardboard box holding your code. No box? You're out. Second, version alignment. If you create a git tag for v1.2.3, the script better confirm that cardboard box is labeled 1.2.3. And third, failure mismatch. If someone tries to sneak a version 1.2.2 artifact past the velvet rope using a 1.2.3 tag, the bouncer fails fast, throws them out, and leaves a crystal clear error message.
Our bouncer also enforces something called idempotence. It's a big, fancy word for a really simple concept. Think of it like a crosswalk button. You can aggressively mash that button 10 times, but it doesn't change the light any faster, right? The action only happens once. In our pipeline, it means if you accidentally trigger the publish script twice with the exact same tag, it won't duplicate the release, charge your server twice, or overwrite your user's downloads. The second run is just a polite nod from the bouncer, a no operation that changes absolutely nothing. It is a total lifesaver.
Now, the ultimate goal of our entire generate, simulate, and iterate loop is to see one beautiful, solitary number in our terminal, a 0. In terminal speak, 0 doesn't mean nothing happened. It actually means 0 errors. Getting that 0 is just the best feeling. It's your badge of honor. It proves your script survived the crash test dummy facility, passed the bouncer's strict checklist, and is undeniably ready for prime time.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, Pipelines in Team Workflows.
Once your code earns that 0, it's reached its final form, a robust, reliable pipeline ready for the whole team. Let's quickly recap the core principles to get there. First, encode verification early so you can fail fast. Second, make local simulations absolutely mandatory. Seriously, never test in production. Third, use AI as an incredible accelerator to do the heavy lifting, but never let it be the final, unquestioned boss. And fourth, treat your pipeline as a strict gatekeeper. By sticking to these, you take all that messy, unpredictable packaging work and turn it into repeatable, auditable pipelines that your entire dev team can trust implicitly.
So as we wrap things up today, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. How much friction, stress, and wasted time could your team eliminate today just by turning those manual updates into a predictable, automated pipeline? Next time, we're going to take these published CLI tools and integrate them directly into broader team workflows and Solana update channels. So start thinking about how this automation can completely revolutionize your daily API development cycle. Because when the robots handle the deployments, you're free to actually focus on building the future. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for this Forge College Explainer. I really hope you feel empowered to go build some incredible automated gatekeepers for your own Solana projects. Be sure to check out forge.college to grab more educational resources on Web3, API development, and team automation. See you in the next one.